Which, to be fair, housing, the interest rates on mortgages needed to rise. This was probably a great excuse for them to slap up the prices and put up the rates, so fair enough. But then there's the other side of it where a lot of people have been lost in the whole chain. The chain has collapsed in a sense. And then you've got landlords who have now got increases in their mortgages in Scotland now being capped. I mean, this is a catalogue of disasters. Talk to me.
It is, yes. I mean, what happened basically was that the mini-budget kind of turbocharged interest rates. The markets were expecting rates to go to 3.5%, that's bank base rate, by next summer. But now we're looking at 6% probably. And that's why a lot of lenders pulled their products. And we had a week, really, where something like 50% of mortgage products were pulled. And that's because lenders weren't sure what was going on with the market. They've now settled down at 2 and 5 year fixes being around about 6%. And they were kind of, 3 to 4% a couple of weeks ago. So it's been a big jump for people. And it's particularly stressful if you're about to change your mortgage or switch product. What's going on in Scotland is quite particular, of course, because they've decided to freeze rents until March. Now, this is a problem for landlords, of course, because their mortgages are going up and their costs certainly aren't going anywhere. Now, if you look at the Office of National Statistics rental index, it says that prices are going up by 3.6% in Scotland. So it's not like they're going up hugely. And often when tenants are in situ, the landlord doesn't tend to increase rents. So
it's a bit unfair with the landlord, because if the landlord has to remortgage in between and the tenant is on a set rent and the hike is quite quick and fast, then in Scotland they're capped as to how far they can raise that rent. So that won't work. No,
and the problem is it leads to landlords selling up and also people stop investing in their properties because, they're not getting enough rent to cover the costs. It's also going to affect social housing because, of course, social housing won't be able to increase their rents as much as they need to. And it's also going to put developers off from building new properties in Scotland because they're worried that suddenly these measures can come from nowhere. So it's very unsettling for the housing market in Scotland.
And a lot of people who've first-time buyers, for example, this is going to have an effect on them because you can get the mortgage, but it's going to cost you more.
Yes, I mean, this is a real worry for first-time buyers. And as you mentioned, I think a lot of people have been pulling out of purchases. Anecdotally, I've heard that a lot in the last couple of weeks.
I've heard it a lot as well.
Yes, yes. And, what people are expecting is that prices might go down next year. We're getting predictions of between 5 and 15% in price falls next year. So, of course, a lot of first-time buyers are, going to be thinking, I might as well wait a year or a couple of years until prices come down, if they do come down. And anyway, we think mortgage rates will peak around about this time next year or perhaps just before this time next year. So why not wait until they start falling in a couple of years' time?
But